I'm tinkering around on this Power over Ethernet smart home sensor prototype. One of its features is an interface to the RM1000 smoke detector. I peeked into the regulatory abyss and here's what I found out. But before we dive in, thank you so much for showing your interest in this project by signing up to my website. If you are potentially interested in my Power over Ethernet smart home sensor, please use the link below to let me know. Also, a very quick disclaimer, I am an engineer, not a regulatory body, so the following information is my personal interpretation and might be completely wrong. And if you know better, please let me know in the comments. Let's talk about regulations, our friend and enemy. While they can seem overwhelming and restrictive for innovators, they exist for a crucial reason. Fire safety systems are literally life-saving devices. A single failure could lead to catastrophic consequences, which is why these regulations are so comprehensive and strict. Let's start with Europe. My RM1000 is made for the European market. It is a fire detector that complies to EN 54-7-2000. EN 54 is actually a harmonized standard under the Construction Products Regulation, which means compliance isn't optional. It's legally required for fire detectors and alarm systems in the European Union, which absolutely makes sense. We want our fire alarms to be safe and effective. This specific fire detector requires an external power and an external signal device. My smart home sensor can do both of these things, but if you use it in combination with a fire detector, then it also has to comply to EN 54. Here is where things get really complicated. Let's talk about power supply requirements under EN 54-4. First, it requires an EN 54 compliant power supply, meaning my Power over Ethernet circuit needs certification. Also a secondary backup battery capable of delivering 24 hours of uninterrupted operation. So I need to add a rechargeable battery to this product. It also needs temperature compensation for battery charging. So if the battery gets too hot, it should reduce the charging current. It needs continuous monitoring of the power supply and also regular automatic battery testing. Yes, even a Power over Ethernet injector needs to be EN 54 compliant. The system also needs fault monitoring and indication for every critical component, specific LED status indicators, also response time within strict limits. It also requires a minimum audio pressure level of 75 dB for sleeping areas and the use of certain frequencies. Looking into the datasheet of the buzzer that I used for this project, it is very close. So probably I would have to use a slightly more powerful speaker here. The installation would require fire-rated Ethernet cables, and the software situation is even more complex. Currently, ESP Home is an integral part of the sensor. This creates several issues. If ESP Home fails, for whatever reason, the fire detector stops working. ESP Home isn't EN 54 rated. The system needs certified watchdog functionality. All software components need extensive documentation and certification. I would need to implement hardware level fail-safes for alarm activation. Even if I manage to solve all these technical challenges, there is more. This system would require professional installation by qualified personnel. Also, you would need maintenance and testing procedures. Everything needs to be documented. This means that my simple Power over Ethernet sensor project would essentially need to become a full-fledged fire alarm system, complete with all of the certification, documentation and liability. My plan now was to also look into the requirements for the United States and Canada, although soon maybe Canada is a part of the US. I heard some rumors. But the problem here is I need a UL listing. I wasn't directly involved in UL listings, but from what I heard, they basically test the device until it breaks. Then they test the broken pieces until they break, and then they test the dust that remains and then they ask for more samples. For now, I do not plan to go down this rabbit hole, so this is the end. Or is it? Thinking about it, the simplest solution might be to put a certified battery-powered alarm next to my sensor and then use the microphone inside of my sensor to pick up the 75 dB alarm signal. That way, my product doesn't have to apply to fire alarm norms. Please let me know what you think. Are there other solutions to this problem? Am I missing something? Please don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. If you're interested in this sensor, please use the link below to let me know. Part of the website is a questionnaire where you can actually choose which features are most interesting to you. And this helps me design the final version of this product. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.